Hello, this is Selçuk Bakır. I am a student at the UT Arlington for the Superintendent Certification Program. And I came all the way from Lubbock to Austin to meet with my site advisor.
A sign of very good dedication here.
Thank you. And we worked together with Mr. Kaya 1 year in Beaumont and 3 years in El Paso. Now he's the superintendent of the Austin. Could you please introduce yourself?
I'm Gültekin Kaya. I'm the superintendent of Harmony Science Academy's Austin districts. I serve 7 campuses here in Austin. I used to be in El Paso district where I worked closely with Mr. Bakır. So I'm very glad that he's part of this program, and I'm very glad to be his mentor as well.
As you know, I share with you my self-assessment with you. And also next week, I'm expected to present a training for my first superintendent observations and also training series. So I would like to check with you what's your suggestions before we kind of realize together on that one.
Okay. And as I go through the self-assessment, I see your evaluation on those standards, and then the average of your standards evaluations are pretty much around 4 out of 5. But I see some areas under standard 2 that looks like you need more, maybe guidance, or you need to maybe improve yourself a little bit more. And then if you can start, for instance, the first one being supervised instruction. So, and then the other one is develop assessment and accountability system to monitor student progress, maximize time spent on quality instruction, monitor and evaluate the impact of the instructional programs. We maybe want to just do a little bit more on that one. How do you feel that you are actually not there yet? How do you see yourself on the supervising of instruction of your campus? How do you feel that, why you feel that you're at 3? What are some of the things that you think that you need to improve?
Education in today's world is really changing very rapidly, and I would like to improve myself in the classroom curricular activities. I would like to dedicate more time in my presence in the classroom. I would like to feel that environment as much as possible. What was the relationship between teacher and principal? What was the relationship between indirect effect of principal to the curriculum and student success? That's why I feel that I think I need more time, because when I calculate my daily routine, instruction takes my 40%, not like as much as I desire 60-70%.
So your ideal goal to be at 70% of your time that you want to spend on instruction, but unfortunately you are able to spend 40%. And the reason, if I may guess, maybe like you spend some time on operational stuff.
Correct.
Maybe so much email comes to your email box, you go through.
Yeah.
So those are the things. So how do we balance that, right? Yeah.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Yes. Well, you're right. So if I may also say, like walkthrough, instructional rounds, observations, I know are some of the key indicators of us that we actually observe the instructions while we go into classroom. Out of like instructional rounds, for instance, I know we take less time per visit. Do you feel that's helping you? You know, I know it's a little less time consuming than walkthrough observation, and then you can involve other also members of your team. That way, you know, you don't have to be everywhere at the same time.
As a campus instruction leader, as you mentioned it, I don't feel I'm only in charge from the student learning process. It's also adult learning. It's not only that one. And, I believe that principals is the leader who prepares the future leader. So instruction round, walkthroughs, great for me to understand how the instruction practice is going on in the campus. Also, it's great if I can give a valuable feedback to the teacher or my instructional team members, how our expectation and how it's happening right now. It's a great tool. Also, instruction rounds or walkthroughs gives a little essence of what is actually happening in the classroom right now. You know, many great initiatives killed or dead in front of the classroom when they hit the reality. Because reality of the classroom is a major component in today. Like, for example, even 40 years old, 5 years old, really good at technology, but do we really implement technology appropriately in a classroom? And how is the role of teacher? How is the curriculum supporting their learning process? And what's in my role? I'm trying to identify for that one. So walkthroughs, instruction rounds is a great tool for me to understand how the best practices or the expectations implemented in the classroom.
I can tell you also the really good solution to a problem. The number one rule is knowing that you have a problem and you see the problem, and that's a good thing. That's why you saw it 40% versus 70% you're low. So my recommendation would be, honestly, if you can plan your weekly, I mean, just lay it down, put it there. What is it that you spend, like day by day, maybe hour by hour, and then the current structure, then your ideal one. Okay, you know what would it look like if I would spend 70% of my time on this weekly plan, whether it's a walkthrough, observation, maybe formal observations, one-on-one conversations, planning. You can include it. Instructions could be more. Sometimes a parental communication would be a part of instruction. It could be with some students conversation. It could be part of instruction too. Don't think only that the time that you spend in the classroom would count towards your instructional times. You know, having a PLC meeting and you are being part of that PLC meeting is going to count towards that instructional time. So I would definitely plan it. So can you actually see yourself that you could actually do 70% on a paper format? Then if you see some areas that you have to delegate, like operationally, try to see if you have some manpower that you could actually do so. Well, if it requires some FTE, for instance, for the long term, then there could be a conversation you could have with your superintendent too. I know usually there's a budget constraint on that. So I would definitely plan on that one. And honestly, also for the time consuming, don't put yourself into a situation where you have to follow certain guideline and structure. Let's say instructional or walkthrough. Be in the classroom. Be visible. Get there. You know, sometimes you could just take notes. Sometimes you don't have to. You don't have to write things every time you go. Sometimes it could be intimidating to a teacher. Let them just see you. Maybe put your hands in your pocket. Be comfortable. Shake hands or say hi, bye. But you grasp something. They will feel your presence. Sometimes if they always see you getting into classroom and you're just taking notes, and sometimes they will feel a little different. But they should see you doing that too. But they should also see you come there, and that way you feel pretty much how it is. It's just like your really regular routine of walkthrough to save you time, but at the same time to give you an understanding. Sometimes another thing is really sometimes those couple of minutes of conversation as you pass through their classrooms. I know it's very hard for you to schedule a one-on-one meeting in your office. So hard. You will be overburdened. So you will find every opportunity to talk to. And sometimes it could be, again, PLC type of, these could be some of my recommendations. I don't want to exceed a lot of more time too. Do you have any final comments?
For the improving, really monitoring the assessment in curriculum implementation, effective curriculum implementation.
Are we going into the E? Okay, develop assessment accountable system. Okay, how you monitor the progress?
I would like to go over I would like to develop a system which creates an ownership of the student and also creates an ownership of the teacher. So I'm planning to give a goal setting meeting with each individual student, with my administration team, instructional team, and also after the a benchmark test or NWA map, which is we are using for gap monitoring tasks or any test that we have. after the test and before the test, like before the test, I would like to meet with the students to set a goal, to motivate them. After the test, I would like to check with teachers what is the most successful, what is the strength of the classroom, what is the need improvement area of the classroom. I would like to discuss with the teacher and prepare a intervention plan of the campus, how we are approaching.
And I really like this idea. I put it down here. Having them take the ownership of what they have achieved. And that, okay, sometimes there's this feeling of students, well, this is not the grade I took. I was given that grade. No, I mean, it's you took it. Take ownership of it. And then, find the area that you have to fix it. But same thing for the teachers. Are they saying, well, I did my best, but that's what student got it. So they, instead of thinking that way, the teacher also should feel, okay, how could I have taught better to have that kids to me? So everybody should take over. I really love that. And honestly, letting them know what they have right now and then their goal. What is it they need to be? And I'll tell you one good practice, honestly, that I've seen in one of our schools here in Austin, Pflugerville campus. They actually made 65% on their NWA. Wow. And that's one of the highest. Actually, they were the second highest, I think, in Texas. And I asked the principal, and what is it? I mean, other than many other things, NWA, MAP, really, students need to be encouraged, they need to be motivated, and they need to take the test really seriously. So one thing that they have done that I really liked, before the test, students knew exactly what they made before and what was their goal. And if they achieve to their goal, they will be given some incentives, like maybe a party, pizza party, free dress day, you can name it. But I see that has been really very good practice, and then student did well. And but one thing to do that, student needs to know their turn status and what's their goal, because most of the time, unfortunately, this is what I see: students don't use their potential. They always have that good potential, but they don't push their potential. Teachers try to do their best to motivate them to push that, but sometimes that's not enough too. But I think you're really in the right direction, honestly, there. I mean, that's good. And the other one is maximize time spent on quality instruction. So when you do those walkthroughs, what is it that you feel on that quality instruction? Is not rigor as to your expectation? And
differentiated instruction is really broad area, and each student needs different attention. I can say that each student needs a different attention, and then I know our teacher is putting a lot of effort, but we still need to meet their needs as well. So when I get in the classroom, I see the classroom engagement. I see the rigor in the classroom, number of questions asked by the teacher, number of questions asked by the students. Even I discuss with the teachers, they say I ask 4 questions, students ask 4 questions, but when I put the data in front of them, there's a huge discrepancy. Teacher asking more than 40 questions, student asking only 5 or 4 questions during the classroom instruction. So there's a discrepancy over there. And maybe sometimes it's good to have a discrepancy. If you're in the introduction part of the topic, maybe it's good to have that discrepancy. It depends on how you are laying out your instruction delivery strategy or structure, but it should be, I think, calibrated. It should be aligned with the classroom structure, and teacher needs to give more choices to the student when they are learning the topic. And as I said, we try to create an engagement. Right now in my campus, the engagement level is more compliance level. The students need to know they need to listen to not get in trouble or to learn, but it should be more, how can I say, natural engagement, authentic engagement. I mean, I would like to see that feeling.
And you really nailed it, actually, Mr. Bakr. I was actually going to open up a PowerPoint presentation shared by Dr. Schumacher. He has seen so many schools of ours, and our schools usually, students really do well. Do well. I mean, they are given assignments, they're on the assignment, they do work, but then in terms of quality, rigor level, they are not at where we want them to be at.
Correct.
And one of the things that he didn't see as much is the level of engagement. And then we still don't have that where we want them to be.
Correct.
So that's an observation from others too. So what is it that we can establish? I honestly, for that one also, I think you're going into right direction as well. One of the really initiation that we have done over the years is the TLAC strategies. So TLAC strategies actually are very helpful, and then scientifically, I think, proven research. So there's a phone coming. So that's I think is going to close that engagement gap.
Yeah.
So once the student have that motivation, encouragement, being able to collaborate with each other, talk with each other, but then hopefully that conversation, that level of engagement will improve the quality of the engagement. So we don't want the engagement level also to be low.
Correct.
Okay, what is it that we are talking? Are what we are talking is a little bit higher order of knowledge and skills and all that. So how can we establish that? Believe me, once we start implementing those TLAC strategies, and I think there are many good videos and some other books that you guys are going through, that will help a lot. So I think you nailed right there. So that will help a lot. And one other thing that I think you are on it. I know you are having some crucial conversation with Dr. Yilmaz on micro credentials.
Yes.
That is for something teachers are sometimes having hard time, because earning micro is not easy. It's not
Yeah,
easy.
it's not-
I mean, you can keep pushing it, but that's not easy. But anyway, but then could increasing our teachers' level of knowledge, PDs, PLCs, and their own knowledge, could that also reflect towards their kids'
Instruction, correct.
quality of instruction? But thank you so much. I'm trying to be careful with the time. How many minutes did we do?
We are 17 right now.
So did we go over
Am I
15
correct?
minutes?
No,
I
yes,
think-
fine. That's fine.
That's
okay.
fine.
Yes.
Fine. You're not going to be penalized for that. Please, Professor, don't give him F. Because he told me it should be, I think, less than 15 minutes. Not more than 15 minutes, but we are exceeding 15 minutes. But he's doing such a powerful job right here. So the last item is monitor and evaluate the impact of the instructional programs. So at the end, this is the last most important thing that you
Yes.
do as a principal. How do you feel you are right now?
Monitoring the progress is one of the key item in my plan. As I share with you, I have a goal plan for that one. If I can find, let me go. Here you go. Okay. For example, the most important thing, we adopted new program this year for the fluency, because we have a major problem of the literacy and fluency of the child. So we are kind of starting a early intervention in kindergarten, first grade, and second grade. And also we also implement NWA MAP fluency program, and whoever came my campus, even 8th grader, 7th grader, I'm asking them to take that test to see where they are, because even sometimes an 8th grader identify or classify in 4th grade reading level or 3rd grade reading level. I have one student right now. So I'm kind of working with my intervention team how we can improve this level and how we can monitor the level of the students, where is the gap. Most of the time, even we have some students in 4th grade still have an issue on the basic CDC wording, very basic CDC wording, and then those are the critical things that we really need to work with them in early elementary. For example, if the students stay with me 4 years, 5 years, they're well beyond the expectation.
Yeah.
But if they came, that's understandable. There is a reason why they are coming to us, because they're not happy with their current structure over there.
That's right.
That's why they are coming to us to. That's why we kind of have good implementation strategy, I believe, right now. We have self-paced curriculum programs. We have like we newly adopted a reading A to Z program as well. We have IXL learning as well, and we have also Play-Doh accounts for the students. So we have many tools, but we need to find the correct implementation strategies for each student. That's why we work together with our campus instructional team.
Just a second. Okay. Do you sometimes feel, Mr. Bucker, overwhelmed yourself and your staff by the amount of instructional programs or change of instructional programs, or maybe sometime, time that's given to implement those instructional programs, whether it's really working or not? Do you sometimes see that as being a little bit of an overwhelming, challenging issue?
Change is not easy.
Yes.
Change is also inevitable. It will be happen. There's no way you can ignore it or avoid it. We need to learn how to adapt to change. There is a new concept, mostly Harvard School of Business and Harvard College of Education is empowering right now, adaptive learning. I am also getting a course from the Harvard for improve my DAT skills, adaptive learning strategies, leading change. I have some programs, I have some plan on it. So yes, my staff feel overwhelmed. We have so many changes, especially the ELA curriculum recently changed. It's created a little bit of tension between teacher and the student, teacher, and administration, definitely. But I think it's right now we have good approach to solve the issue.
That's great. This sentence is a really powerful sentence here. No matter what the instructional program is, no matter what it is. Yes, we want to monitor that, and we want to evaluate that. Then then what? We want to see if there's an impact,
Correct.
positive impact. So it requires a lot of planning, knowing what the program is, knowing what your teachers' capabilities are, knowing how much they know about it, knowing how much they can really implement this one. That's why this monitoring is very critical. Is it being implemented really well? Is there a buy-in? Did they really like the program? So honestly, not every instructional programs that we take into our school system could work. Sometimes they may not work. Sometimes they work. That's a constant monitoring and evaluation program. If there is no impact, we got the survey, we got the evaluation process nice, monitoring done, and we gave enough time, then okay, this is not working, maybe another thing. Sometimes we can always also get supplemental thing as well.
Correct.
And I'm also in very favor of some teachers going above and beyond. Let's say they implement certain programs, strategies, then on top of that, they use other things to support, to supplement, and that's okay too.
Okay.
So, but overall, I think you're also going into the right direction. Yeah, these are the areas we always need to improve ourselves. There is no, of course, a limit on how much we can learn and we can implement and change. But so far, you're doing an excellent job. I really appreciate the time you took to come here and to have a conversation around this. And I wish you success during this program.
Thank you.
Any final question or
No,
thought?
thank you. And I will share my video with you after the
Thank you. I appreciate it.
recording, and then I still need your feedback on it.
Absolutely. Anytime. Thank
Okay,
you. I
thank you.
appreciate it. Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you.
Thank you.